For a man who's been dead for about 350 years, and who was an artist, a painter, who produced only about 35 paintings in his life, Johannes Vermeer has been getting a lot of play lately. There is the author who wrote a novel creating an historical fiction out of one of those 35 works, The Girl with a Pearl Earring, subtitled A Servant's Life, a Master's Obsession, and a Matter of Honor. The book was a big hit, so of course they made a movie out of it. The idea of Johannes Vermeer, about whom we know so little other than the paintings, being one of the lead roles in a movie seems far-fetched to me, but there it is. The author chose the key elements of her story with expert care. They were the social caste system at the time in the Netherlands, religious tension, gender roles, and most assuredly, art. She filled in the blank of Vermeer with the vocation of art. The final touch is her choice of a narrator, the young servant girl who is also an inchoate artist with complete devotion and impeccable taste. Her master, Vermeer, can't fail to recognize this, and because art means more to him than anything, she will become closer to him than anyone, including his wife and family, which ultimately leads to disaster. The painting, according to her story, has a pedestrian origin. Vermeer's patron sees the servant girl and wants a painting of her. The mother-in-law who runs the household wants to keep the patron contented naturally, so the painting is born. The painting, which, like the Mona Lisa, can be seen as endlessly enigmatic, is an invitation to storytelling. The girl, her expression, the earring. In the book, the young woman knows the earring is right, the painting needs it, and the painting is everything. She pierces her ear for that reason, and wears the earring, even though she knows the artist's wife will be furious when she sees it. As a servant, she is dismissed. As an artist, she is confirmed. There is also the question of how Vermeer created the specific signature look in his paintings. For years, people were thinking that he might have used a device called a camera obscura, or dark room, into which an image is projected, which the artist uses as the basis for his work. A professor named Philip Stedman wrote a book about this, entitled, clearly enough, Vermeer's Camera. A young woman bought that book and gave it to her father for a Christmas present, believing that it was the kind of thing that would intrigue him. She was right about that. Tim Jensen, her father, was an inventor and an engineer. He was fascinated by the implication of the book. Time, money, and effort were no impediments to him in exploring the theory in the book involving the technique of the painter, the how, not the why, behind the painting. Jensen took years to build an exact duplicate of the painter's studio, so familiar in many of the paintings, with the window at the far left admitting the light that ignites and nestles in whatever subjects it finds. Jensen built a dark room adjacent to that studio, equipped with a lens that reversed the image, and solved that problem by using a tiny mirror. No artist himself, he applied paint along the edge of the mirror on which the image projected by the lens appeared. And voila, he painted painstakingly a Vermeer, complete with all the play of light, from the fully saturated pigments to the soft edges and the slightly out-of-focus effects. A movie was made, a documentary, detailing Jensen's quest, produced and narrated by Penn Jillette, directed by Teller. The subject matter was perfect for them, having spent their entire careers not only performing extravagant magic, but also revealing how it was being done. Here with Vermeer they could demonstrate that the trick was done not with smoke, but mirrors. It was an exciting discovery. Given the exact equipment, anyone could replicate the effect and produce a Vermeer. Teller was so amped about the project that he broke character and silence, and spoke about it in several videos. Does all of this lessen the achievement of the painter? Does it render him a mere copyist? I have no answer for that. I did not particularly care how the paintings were made, nor was I interested in the backstory of any of them. My attraction to Vermeer was the quality of his work, and even more so, most emphatically, what he did not paint. He did not paint seraphs and saints and angels and cherubim. He did not paint operatic scenes from the Bible. He did not paint religious allegories. His work was much more modest than that. He painted scenes from everyday life, and they were, for me, all the more glorious for that. Especially scenes in that room with the window on the left, the light pouring in, and especially women, some of them bearing children. And the way he did this, radiantly, you could say there was an almost sacramental aspect in the paintings. The women, humble, ordinary, were seen as something holy, quotidian Madonnas. Delft was an Eden. The street scene was a little bit of paradise. That was quite an accomplishment, and that, you might say, was Beans's Vermeer.